sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Reaver.one, that's REAVER.ONE, and click on the SHR TV button. You can also go to brain fart. Holy shit. Every day I do this in YouTube. That's right, YouTube. Search for SHR Media. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Keep up to date on all the great shows we have going on. And last but not least, you can go to Facebook. That's right, you can go to Facebook and just search for Reaver of Common Sense. How's everybody doing? Today is Wednesday. Don't forget, we will have Sackhead's radio show at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But of course, I know everybody's here for me. Everybody just loves me. They don't want to see those bums, especially that Massachusetts bum. Oh, I'm gonna hear it later. I know I will. All right, just making sure that one's doing good. This is probably gonna be the last day I gotta check all this shit too. I think it's going to be pretty good. So far, everything's coming up roses. Of course, now I'm kind of in a dead spot part of the video, so there it is. It's good to go. We are aces. I don't think I'll have to check on it anymore. Just hit or miss. So we can get right on with the show. Oh my God. We're going to start the show right on time today. Holy crap on a cracker. So, Samantha Power, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, was unmasking at such a rapid pace in the final months of the Obama administration that she averaged more than one request for every working day in 2016. And even sought information in the days leading up to President Trump's inauguration, multiple sources close to the matter told Fox. Two sources who are not authorized to speak on the record said the request to identify Americans whose names surface in foreign intelligence reporting, known as unmasking, exceeded 260 last year. One source indicated this occurred in the final days of the Obama White House. Details emerged ahead of an expected appearance by Power next month on Capitol Hill. She is one of several Obama administration officials facing congressional scrutiny for their role in seeking the identity of Trump associations in intelligence reports, but the interest in her action is particularly high. Well, a lot of this was done during the campaign. And even after. They were trying to get information on the campaign, and then once he won, they tried to get information to try to throw him out. And if you notice, nothing is going on. Mueller, he's really reaching now. I hear he's going back 10 years on Trump's financial records, which have nothing to do with his presidential run. Nothing. It's a huge fishing expedition that they're just trying to find something little in there. They're desperate. Obama administration broke God knows how many fucking laws the whole 8 year he was in there. He used his power to listen in on the Republican presidential candidate during the campaign. And I wonder how much of that information got back to Mrs. Hillary Clinton. This is worse, way worse than Watergate. This is our government spying on a political party with its own intelligence agencies. That is not what America does, people. That is not what America does. We do not spy on our political adversaries. That is what communists do. That's what dictators do. And that's exactly what Obama and Hillary did. They tried spying on their political opponent, and nothing happened. So you tell me, they couldn't find anything while they were spying during the campaign. Tell me, why do they think they're going to find anything now? They're not. They are not going to find anything. It's an absolute shit show what's going on and what I see going on in this country. It is an embarrassment to what I see going on. Gotta download a video for later. Forgot to do it. I'm bad. I know. Trying to do 20 things by myself. Then the best thing is I was not goofing around. The parts came in for me to sharpen the knives with the belt sander. So I got doing those today. And, of course, I had to stick my finger. I had to. Fucking idiot I am. Alright. It's disgusting. And the Democrats don't just try to ignore it. Now, if it was the other way around, holy shit, we would not hear the end of it. We'd still be hearing how, if it was a Republican president and a Republican won, I mean, how many investigations would we have at this point? I mean, seriously, we would have countless investigations right now. It's getting absolutely disgusting, repulsive, whatever words you want to use to describe it. It's there. And what pisses me off even more is the GOP sits there with their fucking thumbs up their ass, not doing anything about this. Oh, it's not good. You shouldn't have done that. I think I got the microphone. I seriously, where is the balls? Seems GOP has lost them. Maybe they never had them. But in a July 27th letter, the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, said the committee had learned that one official whose position had no apparent intelligence-related function made hundreds of unmasking requests during the final year of the Obama administration. The official is widely reported to be Power. Now, why was the unmasking done if this person had no apparent intelligence-related function? Why did she need that? She didn't. She was doing it to pass along for political campaign reason. During a public congressional hearing earlier this year, Republican Representative Trey Gowdy of South Carolina pressed former CIA Director John Brenner on unmasking without mentioning Power by name. Gowdy, do you recall any U.S. ambassador asking that names be unmasked? Brennan, I don't know. Maybe it rings a vague bell, but I could not answer with any confidence. Gowdy continued asking on either July 19th or up till noon on January 19th or up till January 20th, did you make any unmasking requests? I don't believe I did. Gowdy went on questioning, so you did not make any request on that last day that you were employed? No, I was not in the agency on the last day I was employed. Brenner later corrected the record, confirming he was at the CIA headquarters on January 20th, even though he stated in sworn testimony, no, I was not at the agency on the last day I was employed. He says he went there to collect some final personal materials as well as to pay my last respects to a memorial wall, but I was there for a brief period of time and just to take care of some final things that were important to me, Brennan said. Yeah, like unmasking American citizens that were illegally wiretapped. This is the same John Brennan that's lied to the American people God knows how many times. 3 of the nation's intelligence agencies, that's questioning a lot, intelligence, received subpoenas in May explicitly naming 3 top Obama administration officials, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, Brennan, and Powers. Records requested for Ben Rose, then President Obama's advisor, but the documents were not the subject of a subpoena. For a spokesman for Powers had no comment on the number or timing of her requests, but in a previous statement, her lawyer, David Pressman, emphasized that while serving as our permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Powell was also a member of the National Security Council responsible for advising the president on the full range of threats confronting the United States. Any insinuation that Amanda Powell was involved in leaked classified information is absolutely false. What do you expect from a fucking lawyer? Yeah. I represent Power, and yeah, she leaked information. Yeah, she unmasked people. But no, she sent it to, and what the fuck do you... Of course they're going to say that crap. I don't even know why they ask these questions. It's just like a standard textbook answer. Wait a minute, let me turn to answers for the public press. Hold on, I lost my marking in my book. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Any insinuation that Ambassador Powell was involved in leaking classified information is absolutely false. Okay, yeah, that's what I gotta say. It's same shit. All the roads keep leading up to Obama's administration, the personnel, all the shit keeps piling up in front of them. But oh, we're innocent. We didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. Sounds like a Democrat motto. During congressional testimony since the unmasking controversy began, National Security Agency Director Admiral Mike Rogers has explained that unmasking is handled by intelligence community and independent review. We, the NSA, applied 2 criteria in response to the request. Number 1, you must make the request in writing. Ooh. Number 2, the request must be made on the basis of your official duty, not the fact that you just find this report really interesting and you're just curious, he said in June. It has to tie to your job, and finally, I said too, but there's a third criteria, and is the basis of the request must be that you need this identity to understand the intelligence you're reading. Obama turned our intelligence agency away from ISIS, away from our enemy, and turned it on his true enemy, the American people, and at that time, Donald Trump. Now, previous UN ambassadors have made unmasking requests, but it has been told that the number is in the low double digits. Powers has agreed to meet with the Senate and House Intelligence Committee as part of the Russian probe. She is expected before the House Committee in a private classified session in October. And what do we hear? I plead the fifth. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember. I plead the fifth. It's funny how Democrats bitch when a Republican pleads the fifth or doesn't answer a question. But I've never once heard a fucking Democrat answer a question. Hell, Hillary Clinton. It was like 37 times in a 2-hour span that she didn't remember or couldn't answer or, didn't recall. Then they wonder why us Americans are getting pissed at this shit. Our government is a goddamn joke. Republicans are helping it along the way. They're in that clown car too. McConnell, Paul Ryan, Pelosi, Schumer, they're right in the front of that car. What is it? Congress is a goddamn joke right now. All they care about is trying to make political points with the people so that they can use it during election season. Hell, the Senate's going on vacation again. I think this summer they've gone on vacation like 4 times now. July 4th break, Labor Day break, anal seepage leakage day. They find more excuses to be at a session than in session. And then, we need more money. We need to be paid more. Work more. Work harder. That's the funny part is they sit there and bitch, we need to get paid more. Try doing your job first. Please, I wish I could do that at my job. Next to never show up, and when I do show up, just bitch and moan and not get anything done. Blame it on everybody else. Go home in a huff, and then demand that I deserve a raise. Can I please have that fucking job? Hey, Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, I want less hours on my show, more pay. I want you doing 3/4 of my shows. Yeah, I'd get laughed at. Laughed out. Right off the air. Pisses me off. I've never seen our government this bad. And it's not just one party over the other. Both parties are fucking it up. Congress is Congress is like a monkey fucking a football right now. A greased football right now. Damn. They need to get their act together is what they need to do. Stop worrying about elections. If you do your job, elections fall right in place. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHRB and High Plains Pundit Radio. Why isn't that working? There we go. And we'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making. In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Sometimes it's a pain in my ass trying to make sense out of all this crap that's going on in this world. Let's see. Jerry Brown. California is protecting the hard-working, undocumented immigrants of Washington, D.C., from Washington, D.C. xenophobia. Oh. Can I bang my head against the wall? Please. It did. Let's see if there's actually a transcript or a clip of this. Let's see. that they push in this crap. The undocumented immigrant. Jerry. You need an English lesson. You really do. Where the hell did that come from? Let's see if there is. I mean, of course he was on CNN. Yeah, there is one. Let me get that. So, what is it? I knew there was a second one I needed. I knew. It's a joke with the shit that they come up with. It really, I mean, but the punchline is not funny. It really isn't. How do I have? Let me count the ways. It's the same crap over and over again. The same crap. And it's really getting tiresome. Alright, I'm not going to be able to actually play, but I can play the audio from it. So we're going to play the audio. Give me 1 second. Ooh. That didn't sound good. Alright, here's Jerry Brown talking to Jake Tapper on CNN's The Lead.
The U.S. Joining me now is one of those critics, California's Democratic Governor Jerry Brown. Governor Brown, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Glad to be here.
So yesterday you suggested President Trump's approach to North Korea was, quote, stupid and dangerous and silly. I know you don't care for the term rocket man about Kim Jong-un, but to play devil's advocate,
sure.
Is it not possible that this tactic might work because everything else has failed with North Korea, from Clinton to Bush to Obama, who tried it the diplomatic way?
Yeah, if you believe in bluster and starting a bluster war with North Korea, which is what they do.
And what are we supposed to do, Jerry Brown, you jackass? Give them more fucking money? How about standing up to the little bully? How about standing up to him? Oh, that's right, California likes to run around crying about bullies. They don't know how to stand up to them. You loudmouth prick. I mean, you're just a mouthpiece that's running. I'm out here bashing Trump. I'm out here bashing Trump. I don't see anybody else coming up with a solution. They're threatening a nuclear war on us and our allies. They're threatening EMPs on us. And we're supposed to go, oh, hi. Yeah. Let's talk. We've been talking for over 20 years. Let's talk some more. You fucking morons.
And threats one after the other. So I think bluster is not the pathway of diplomacy or even statesmanship. Sure, these are real serious issues, no doubt about it. We've got to work closely with China and Russia and South Korea and Japan. But just noise and threats, we're going to kill every man, woman, and child in North Korea, that doesn't advance the ball. It just raises the temperature and the exchange of non-rational bluster back and forth. I don't think that's positive.
Speaking of raising the temperature, you're at the UN General Assembly with other Democratic governors to participate in Climate Week. President Trump, we're told, aired his dissatisfaction with the Paris Climate Agreement during a meeting with the French president, saying that other countries, namely China, received a better deal than the United States. Is it not true that China set lower standards for itself than did the U.S.?
Look, China is doing more than the U.S. right now. They're closing down coal plants. They're
What?
massively investing in solar and wind.
Oh, Jerry
They're
Brown is
investing in
smoking too
battery
much of that
technology,
weed that's
which
legal
will
in
help
his
America.
state.
So this point that America got a bad deal is fake. It's more fake than any fake news
Oh, my
associated
God.
by President Trump. This agreement.
I'm going to come out here and just disagree with everything because I'm an asshole and I don't like Trump.
Weather events. That's exactly what climate change is going to bring about. It may already.
And it's already been said by the climate change scientists. We were wrong. I reported on it yesterday. It wasn't the deniers or any of that group. It was the climate change cultists themselves going, oh, the models are wrong. There's no warming. Oh, we got it wrong. And you still got assholes like this. The hurricanes are caused by global warming. You had a fuckface baseball player from the cocksucking Mets talking about how these hurricanes were karma for Trump backing out of the climate change and climate change causing. Fucking hurricanes have been around for hundreds of God knows, probably since the dawn of time. And now these assholes, oh, look at that. We're going to do some fear-mongering. The scientists are even going, shut your mouth. Even the scientists that are backing global warming is going, shut your mouth. You're making it worse on us, asshole. And I'm being serious. They're out there telling them to shut up because it's making them look worse. It's making them look bad. Because they're out there blaming. They're blaming this fictitious cultist idea of global warming. We've had hurricanes. We've had multiple bad hurricanes. Maybe this is the worst year. Big deal. It happens. Florida hasn't got hit in a while. It goes in cycles, people. Weather is secular. And you have some high points, you have some low points. We didn't have a hurricane for a while. Now we might have a few hurricanes. Then we won't have a hurricane. I mean, it's not rocket science here. If an asshole like me can understand it. But no, this jackass wants to go out there and stir the pot, spread fear, spread propaganda. And then, no, fake news, fake news. You're on the fake news network, asshole.
Going to bring about. It may already bringing them about. So, existential threat, climate change. That's what it is. It's irresponsible. It's blind. It's almost. I don't even know how he gets away with that. I have to call that fake news.
Oh, I'm going to jump on the fake news and call everything fake news.
In reference
it's
to
fake
climate
news.
Change, this week you compared Trump supporters to cave dwellers. You said, quote, you should check out the derivation of Trumpite and troglodyte because they both refer to people who dwell in deep, dark caves. Are you really calling the nearly 63 million Trump voters cave dwellers?
No, and if you saw your own words there, it was about Trumpite and troglodyte. It wasn't about the millions of voters who voted for.
Oh, now I'm going to backtrack.
Which are right in California. No, the people who closely advise climate denial, advise bluster wars, advise stigmatizing.
This coming from a fucking amoeba. He wants to talk about troglodyte? He's a fucking amoeba.
Yeah,
no, that's insulting amoebas. They got more brain cells than this bald-headed jackass.
Call them cave dwellers because cave dwellers didn't have TV like that. But it is a blindness.
Oh, the cave dwellers didn't have TV, so no, I can't compare them to being cave dwellers.
It generates the kind of disinformation that undermines democracy and doesn't build dialogue, which we desperately need in this country.
Whoa. Asshole, we've been wanting to try to talk, and you keep shutting it down. Cocksuckers like you, Jerry Brown, keep shutting it down by allowing those violent groups to go into your state and beat people up. And you sit there and you don't do shit. Jerry Brown, you are the cause of half the problems in this country. You allow these illegals to come flooding into our country. You made a sanctuary state. You are breaking federal fucking law. And you want to have conversation. No, you don't. You want it your way. You're a child. You're a pestilent child that's not getting their way, and you're throwing a temper tantrum. And I'll even tell you more about it later, because he's going to try to throw lawsuits because of the wall being put up in California. I'm going to make environmental lawsuits. The problem is federal law says they can exempt those requirements, you dumb, bald-headed prick. Oh, man, this guy's got me riled up. Oh. I don't even live in his dumb state.
About some legislation that you have on your desk. Over the weekend, California passed a bill making the Golden State a sanctuary state.
No, wait a minute. There's no word sanctuary. This is a bill to have the immigration do their own work and not attempt to conscript state officials into being part of the immigration service. It does allow close cooperation on data, on drug busts and drug raids, and also working with the immigration service, whether it's from our prisons or from the jails when you're dealing with serious criminals. So it protects public safety, but it also protects hardworking people who contributed a lot to California.
Hardworking people who are undocumented immigrants.
Yeah. By the way,
who broke the law?
Working our agricultural industry, our hospitality industry, our construction industry.
Remember that. Remember the Democrats pre-Civil War? Picking cotton, picking their fruit. And what do you hear from Democrats now about illegal immigrants? How they want to keep them? Same shit. Hearing the same lines from Democrats.
Agricultural industry, our hospitality industry, our construction industry, they'd be in deep trouble without those same people. And that's why we need immigration reform, not bluster, not rhetoric.
You know, you probably got some bank robbers, some crack dealers. You probably got some murderers that are working in those same jobs. Are you protecting them too? I mean, they're being a positive to society. Oh, that's right. You're paying gangbangers. You want to pay gangbangers not to commit crimes. This is how jackassery of a fuckwad that state is with its government officials. And I don't like to label the whole state like that because there is some conservatives in there. And it's a joke that state has turned into. Mr. Moonbeam Jackass. Oh my God. Oh, this guy's got my blood pressure. Oh, boom, 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 boom.
This kind of the xenophobia that we see too much of coming out of Washington.
And too much racism coming out of California. Because, as I said, you know, Democrats said before, you do away with slaves, who's going to pick our cotton? Now, if you do away with illegal immigration, who's going to pick our fruits? One plantation to another. They went from black people to brown people.
Washington.
Do you think that complying with federal immigration laws it's optional? Because that would be the counter argument.
No, and we comply with immigration laws. We're not soldiers of Donald Trump or the Federal Immigration Service. We have our own laws to arrest criminals, to give them a jury trial, and then to provide appropriate punishment. That's our job. Now,
and they broke the law, you asshole!
Come to our jails. They can interview people. They can pick up people that they think are appropriate. But don't tell California to do your work. In fact, there are many cases of people who the Immigration Service said they wanted, and they don't even show up to come to get them. So this is a well-balanced bill. The police chief of Los Angeles supported it. There's a number of law enforcement officials who said it was a much better piece of legislation than what was originally introduced and which got the name Sanctuary City or Sanctuary State.
Another piece of legislation passed in the California State Legislature Friday would require presidential candidates to release their 5 most recent years of tax returns in order to be able to get on the California ballot. President Trump has, of course, infamously refused to release
Oh
his
my
returns.
God,
He
they're
says
on the
he's
tax
under
return
audit.
again. Oh my God.
You also have not released your tax returns. Do you plan to sign?
Actually, I did release them in my earlier campaigns. This time around, my opponents wouldn't do it, so I didn't either.
Whoa.
Read it.
No. If you want to make a law like that, you need to be releasing your tax return. None of this shit. Well, my opponent didn't, so I didn't. No. You didn't. You're trying now to hold someone else to a higher standard. This is the joke that is the fucking Democrat Party. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. If you want to watch a live stream, just go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHR TV button. You also, while you're in there, once you go there, you'll also be in the chat room. Or you can go to YouTube, search for SHR Media. While you're there, hit the subscribe button. I'm going through the ad dividing. Facebook, search for Reaver of Common Sense. Don't forget to hit the like button. Now, I know the last segment, I might have got my audio might have got a little wonky there because I was doing a lot of yelling. I apologize. It's just he pisses me off. It really does. And it's not because he's attacking Donald Trump, just the crap he says and pushes. And they don't know when to shut up sometimes and back off. Just because California is accepting all that crap doesn't mean the American people are going to accept it. A lot of us are getting tired of it. We're getting tired of being told what to think, what to say, what to do, everything. We're supposed to be a free country with a free mind. I mean, it's... Jenna, like I was saying, I was screaming, so I was yelling pretty bad, and it pisses me off. This climate change bullshit. And they're trying to push this, and I'm getting tired of hearing about these hurricanes. You know what? Fuck you. My life was in danger. This had nothing to do with Trump, the Paris Climate Agreement. Had nothing to do with this make-believe Disney World bullshit of global warming. It had to do with we have hurricanes. People lost their lives. And the problem is these assholes actually think they can control the weather. And the weather should be the same day to day, year after year. And that doesn't happen. I mean, I've heard out of that jackass, we can prove it, we can prove it, it's global warming. There was no rain in California. We had droughts, and now there's rain, and we have floods. Really, you jackass. Oh, my God. And this next one is not going to do me any better. Oh, no. I know it's not. Maxine Waters, this woman, she literally needs help. She needs professional help. I think she might be the worst of the worst. Let me set the backdrop. She's giving it a eulogy at her friend's funeral. A eulogy at her friend's funeral. When she goes into a tirade, viciously smearing the president. Let me tell you, that could be my best friend. And if at a wedding, a funeral, you're going to get up and you're going to do that crap, I would have stood up, walked over, and punched your teeth right down your throat. If you want to be disrespectful, I'm going to treat you with the same type of respect that you give. So I'm going to play the clip. This is crazy Congresswoman Maxine Waters going off during a eulogy at her friend's funeral. Oh, crap on a cracker. I gotta wait a minute. I gotta start all over again. I'm sorry. I goofed up. I forgot to turn this on. Alright, now I'll go.
I could sit with Dick because I've got work to do. I'm cleaning out the White House.
She's cleaning out the White House. She ain't doing shit.
We're going to sanitize the White House. We're not going to take what is happening in this country. Haven't you taken enough?
Yeah, 8 years of Obama.
And then comes along this person. This person who does not respect you. This dishonorable human being who cheats everybody. This dishonorable human being who will lie at the drop of a hat. This dishonorable
Chuck
human
Schumer?
being who have the alt-right and the KKK and everybody else inside his cabinet.
No, that would be the Democrats, you crazy broad.
This dishonorable human being who can criticize everybody but Putin and Russia. Did he collude with Russia? I bet you Dick Gregory would tell me, yeah, he did it. Not only are we going to clean out the White House, we're going to take back the house that slaves built. And I know.
This is all at a funeral.
Get very upset. Some get afraid when I say impeachment.
This is a funeral, people.
When I get through with Donald Trump, he's going to wish he had been impeached.
Yeah. And all she's done is gone out there and
I am so offended by him, and I love my people so much.
I'm offended by you.
I'm not put up with it. I'm going to say impeach 45.
I say impeach Maxine Waters.
45 every day.
Impeach Maxine Waters.
Every day.
That woman needs help. That was a funeral, people. A funeral. But remember, she wants to sit with Dick. I'm sorry, that's the first thing she said, and it just, I almost started laughing that she wants to sit with Dick again. I don't know if Dick wants to sit with you, honey. I know mine doesn't. And if I was Dick, I would have sat up in my coffin and told that. Oh, I'll refrain. See you next Tuesday. Can't understand normal thinking. To shut up and get off the microphone. That is a funeral. Not a pulpit for political bullshit. I'm amazed. How many people would go to... Who the hell goes to a funeral is more worried about politics than their supposed dead friend? The woman needs help. But then again, it's California, people. It's California. It's... I mean, the only KKK Trump, KKK Trump, impeachment. Show me one member that's KKK. Show me. Don't just say that they're in the KKK. Prove it. Prove it. Prove your accusations where you're running your flippant gums nonstop. You can't. The only thing the Democrats can do is throw out false accusations and hope some weak-minded person believes them. She's cleaning out the White House. Please. I wish they would clean the cobwebs out between the ears. And what's funny is she sits there and talks about how you were getting taken, how the things were bad, and she goes, and then comes along this person. She just bashed Obama. That's the funny part. And show me who the fuck has he cheated? And you want to talk about lies? You are a fucking politician. That's all you do. I have not heard you tell the truth once, woman. I have never heard that woman tell the truth. And when I get through with you, Donald Trump, he's going to wish he had been impeached. Yeah, because guess what? You don't have the numbers. And it's an uphill battle that right now doesn't look too good for you that you're going to overtake the House. I'm not saying you can't, but I've been hearing for how many years now how they were going to retake the House. Pelosi's been saying that. I think at the point they've said it so many times they actually believe it. Without doing what has changed in the Democrat Party? What have you done to change your downward spiral? What have you done? Nothing. You have no message. All you have, Donald Trump is a bad man. Bad man. That's all you have. We make things better. Yeah, we'll give you jobs. Well, if you can get us jobs, and you have all these ideas for creating an economy and creating jobs, please tell me where the fuck those ideas were for the past 8 years. Where was your concern for us the last 8 years? You acknowledge now things are that bad, but for 8 years you lied to us telling how great it is. Now you admit how bad it is. And you want us to believe you? But again, if you have all these ideas, where were they 8 years ago? Over the last 8 years. Why couldn't you have implemented all that? And you got the Republicans. Republicans had nothing to do with it. The fact is, you don't have shit. You think by telling people, we got an idea, and we're going to better jobs, better economy, Papa John's, the Democrat Party. Slogans don't win elections. Well, I can't say that because hope and change got Obama. After he was elected, I was just hoping I had change in my pocket. I'm flabbergasted by this woman. Now West Coast, oh my God. And this is why I don't know if we can ever come back together as a country. I hope I'm wrong. But there's such a divide. The Democrat Party has been so divisive. They keep telling us we're divisive. We're trying to talk. We're trying to come back together. And they just want to keep everything apart. They're the ones that talk about hate. They're the ones that talk about how evil we are. And if we don't agree with them, how we're despicable and we're deplorable. They're the ones that are doing it, not us. Sooner or later, we're going to get tired of it. And it's not going to be pretty. And it's not a threat. I'm worried about that. But can we come back together as a country, one whole country? I don't know if we can. There's too much divide. Democrats have created such a divide in this country that I don't think we can come back together. It would take a goddamn miracle for everybody to come back together. You would have to de-educate from the propaganda they have been taught. I'm going to see if I have that article up. If not, I'm going to bring it up further after the break. A woman that was living in California, and she swore she would never move into a red state, and she moved into one. and she contacted her friends afterwards. She's loving it. And she's admitting everything that she was taught is a lie. But we'll talk about that. I'll try to find it for after the break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour will be the Sackheads radio show, hosted by, of course, Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, and BZ. They'll go over everything. Oh, that's weird. It's the liberals are just out of their mind right now. And I told you there's a woman, let me just jump right into the article. Flyover country, Bible Belt, Middle America, coastal elites, and liberal cities have all sorts of terms for red states. But they all seem to convey one message. Conservative areas of the country are somehow backward and should be avoided. That's the impression one California writer had about America's heartland. Leah Singer never imagined that she would end up in Trump country. When she moved to Indiana, not long ago, her entire perception changed. In an editorial piece published last weekend in the Indianapolis Star, the author sent a clear message to a liberal friend back in California and throughout the country. You might be wrong about red states. I used to say I'd never move to a red state, and then I did, and it changed my life forever, Singer admitted. As a California girl, the writer explained that the left-leaning West Coast sees itself as a bastion of diversity, but Singer hinted that it was less of a paradise for anybody who didn't parrot the liberal talking points. She goes on to say, I was raised in California, where we like to believe diversity is applauded and opportunities abound. In many ways, California's blue state bubble can be a very safe place to live if you subscribe to the popular liberal politics. In other words, it was divisive only if you thought and talked the same as everyone else, which kind of defeats the point. Regardless, Singer was a bit apprehensive about starting her new life in a conservative region. Over and over, I was questioned about why I would ever leave the Golden State for a flyover red state. This phrase alone troubled me, and the implied perception that one flies over the Midwest just to get to the East or West Coast home, she stated. Like sheltered people naively asking about a faraway land they've only vaguely heard about, the writer's West Coast friends had a lot of curiosities about how things were in America's heartland. As I settled into my life in the Midwest, I heard the same assumptive question. Did everyone you know vote for Trump? Are there African Americans, Jewish, Asian, LGBTQ people in Indiana? Do people make fun of you for listening to NPR? Singer recalled. The coastal transplant quickly realized that her past impression of conservative America was nowhere near the reality. As I got to know my new Midwest home, I realized how living in a bubble and subscribing to the Middle America stereotype is truly damaging to this country, she explained. Never does one ask how the Indiana public school provide many opportunities that have been cut from California's public school because of one budget crisis after another. Never does one ask about low cost of living that is allowing us to pay off the mountain of debt we incurred in California. And never does one ask about my fellow community members who are running successful business, enriching the city's art and making a difference for local environments. Hey, Kara. She noticed something that enlightened coastal liberals often ignore. Places such as California may not be as truly diverse as they pretend to be. Southern California is diverse racially and religiously. It really is not with respect to class or working poor, the writer revealed. This is especially the case in San Diego, where it becomes more difficult for middle-class families to own a home or afford rent, with 41% of home ownership and 57% of renters spending 30% or more of income on housing, all while incomes stay stagnant, according to the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. In the end, Singer's positive experience with the Midwest helped her realize that many coastal elites purposely bury their heads in the sand when it comes to real diversity within the United States. How many of these people travel within their own country to get to know the others? Why travel the globe, but not make an effort to get to know your Midwest neighbors, the author asked. Living in Indiana, I now have an understanding of America that I did not before. I wish more people living outside the middle took the time to get to know others living in a few states away. I did, and I'm a better person because of it, she concluded. She may not completely realize it, but Singer has stumbled upon an important fact. Liberal obsession with diversity often shuns true multiculturalism, a variety of opinions, thoughts, and political stance, and instead focuses on the feel-good category of irrelevant traits like skin color. In many of the more important ways, conservative areas of the country are advancing while liberal neighborhoods face major problems. Thankfully, people like Singer are having their eyes open once they actually escape their bubble, and they are realizing what conservatives have known for decades. Small-time America might be onto something after all. Now, and that hits it right on the head. Because what don't you hear from conservatives? Well, do we have an equal amount of blacks? Do we have an equal amount of Latinos? Do we have an equal amount of Asians? Do we have an equal amount of LGBTs in this? Oh, no, well, we're going to have to kick your white ass out of here. We're going to... No, we just get together with everybody. We don't care what nationality. You're an American. Come, sit. Let's have fun. Oh, you're a Democrat? So what? Come sit. It is the ones that are pushing this multiculturalism that has a tendency to push away multiculturalism. And you see it all the time. But they are so, of late, they're so ingrained with this divide. They're so ingrained with it. That's all they know. They're pushing their own demise almost. I mean, they've come full circle. And I wonder if this is the Democrat plans. They didn't want to give up segregation in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. Democrats were pissed about that. But now the Democrat Party has convinced these minorities that segregation is good for them to have. So now you got groups like BLM, we need segregation. We got Latinos, we need segregation. We need separate dorms. We need separate classrooms. We need separate living spaces. This is exactly what the Democrats wanted to begin with. They've pushed this kumbaya, everybody get together, but they pushed it to a point where it's pushing everybody apart. And that's what conservatives just... It's not that they ignore and are part of racism. It's just not at that forefront where they're shoving it down your throat and then they end up pushing other people away. And I'll still say, and you can call me a racist for it. I don't care. Affirmative action is racism. And it endangers people. Yes, affirmative action actually endangers people. Because when you have fire companies, especially townships, counties, they got to be in that affirmative action and make sure they have so many equal. There was a story from someone I knew, and this is going back 80s. Been a volunteer firefighter for a good 10 years, I think it was. Passed one of the local fire tests, but it was a township job, so it fell within all the tests, the scoring, affirmative action, there was a lot of rules with that. And then he went down, he talked to the chief, and he knew the chief. one of his relatives, other friends were already on the department, and the chief was going, "You got the job, don't worry about it. You're going to start academy. I want you to go down, get your bunker gear now." And he turned around and he goes, "No, I haven't got the official letter yet. I don't want to jinx myself." And the chief's like, "Nope, I'm telling you, I made the decision. You have the job. You scored high enough. Now go get your gear." And again, he said, "No, he said he had a bad feeling." No sooner does he get home than the phone rings. And it was the township calling down in, the administration. "We want to let you know that we're not going to be hiring you. We haven't hired enough African Americans at this time, so your position is going to an African American." And he was like, and it ends up this guy probably never even saw the inside of a fire truck in his whole life. Not because he's black. He just never volunteered. He had no experience. So they turned down a guy with 10 years experience because he was white. Because of affirmative action. Isn't that racism when you pick someone over another because of the color of their skin? But it's okay when you exclude a white person? Seems there's some racism still going on. And that puts people at danger. And what happened not too many years later is that gentleman just happened to be a drug addict. He was able to pass the test at the time. And he ended up standing on top of one of our bridges, trying to jump off of it, high as a kite. And then, the city had to pay for his drug rehab and all that. And then after that, he ended up losing his job. But that put people at danger, because you took someone who's never done that job and had no knowledge and didn't let them get the job. Or they got the job over someone that was experienced, knew the job inside and out. And I tell you that story because it's something that I know I've dealt with. When you unscrew the water bottle tops, that piece stays attached. And that's the Democrat. They just keep pushing that. Maybe I wasn't around, so I'm going to make an educated guess here that affirmative action was needed at one point in the history of this world, or this country, I should say. But we need to go to back to whoever's the best person for the job, not the best color. That's ridiculous. And we need to get these people to stop. And there's people that won't talk to you. "Oh, you're a conservative." Oh. And they look down on you. I'm worried for Thanksgiving. I won't be on the air the week of Thanksgiving. My wife's grandmother passed away just recently, a couple months ago. And I was asked, "Are you going to come up for Thanksgiving this year?" I usually don't because I have trouble with flying with my back and stuff. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to come up this year just because they want the whole family to get together in honor of Anna." I love that woman. That woman was a great woman. But I'm like, holy shit. So now I got to go up. Me and my father-in-law, not viciously, me and my father-in-law get into it political. He's Democrat, not conservative. Then I have to deal with my brother-in-law. Is usually not that bad on that stuff. He doesn't get in the arguments. My sister-in-law, I don't know what she'll make her comments. But my brother-in-law's wife, that's going to be another story. And it's going to be myself versus that whole house. Because my wife doesn't get involved in politics. So it's going to be me versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberals. And I really don't want to get into it. I really don't. I try to ask my wife to ask that. Try not to do any political talk. I don't want to get into arguments. I don't want the little snide. My wife's like, I'm just going to tell him. You make the comments. He's going to open his mouth. Like, I want to be nice this trip. I do. I want a nice trip. But at the same time, I don't want to keep my mouth shut either. That's not me. But I get why you want to be a conservative. And I don't understand. Because I was talking to my father-in-law the one time, and he thinks he was a successful lawyer. He was a great lawyer. I have high respect. He would turn down those bullshit cases. Hey, he knew they were bullshit. He knew he could make money off of them, but he would turn them down because he didn't see the merit in it. So I give him credit within that. And he thinks because he was such a success, he rose up in the ranks in the firm he was in. Brilliant man. Brilliant. We got in a discussion. He thinks he has to pay a higher tax bracket because he was a success. He has to pay more money into the system because he was successful. Look, why should you have to pay more money? Because you worked your ass off. You busted your ass. He came from a poor family too. He sold his blood literally to get through college. He busted his ass. And I know he did. I have high respect for my father-in-law. I do. But that doesn't mean that he deserves to pay a higher tax bracket so it can be given to people of lesser value. I don't understand that thinking. I don't. But that way we can have the conversation like I told him. You worked your ass off. You deserve it. You don't deserve to be held to a higher tax bracket. Just everybody pay the same tax bracket. Boom. You all pay equal. No, you won't pay equal. It's not fair. Why is that fair? If I pay 7%, you pay 7%. Well, people like Donald Trump won't pay their equal amount. Well, if they pay 7%, no, they're not paying it equal. Yeah, they will be. 7% is 7% across the board. Do away with tax write-offs, all that. Just everybody pays an equal amount. There is no doing taxes at the end of the year. None of that. No write-offs, no loopholes. 7%. That's it. And if you want to put it, okay, people underneath $18,000 a year don't pay any tax, federal taxes. Okay, all right. I can understand. But just do a flat rate, then everybody's paying equal amount. That's all there is to it. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here. Hopefully you heard me say hi, Carrie. Hopefully you did, because I did say earlier. I just been yammering on. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, dude.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm reading through a friend's Facebook, and these people are pissing me off. There was a dude on TV today whose in-laws live in South Korea. They're now worried about the crazy there. They're worried about the crazy here. And sorry, I can't support a grown man who calls names like a 10-year-old because he called North Korean leader Rocket Man. Oh my God, it's so childish. Oh, these fucking liberals just piss me off anymore. Like I said, I guess we should just pay them off like we've done in the past. That worked out great. Jesus Christ. Called him Rocket Man. Big fucking deal. Now he's got the other leaders at UN that are calling North Korean leader Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. Jesus Christ. Not like, hey, look, it's fat boy round cocksucker. He called him Rocket Man. Get over yourself, these fucking liberals. Oh. So sickening. I mean, this is a joke. Common sense is overrated. It just... Ask him, I know, maybe therapy would help. You know what? I'll take common sense over overthinking any day of the week. Any day of the week. I'm just... Because Donald Trump's standing up to North Korea. Oh, let's do what Obama did. Let's pay billions of dollars for him not to create nukes. And what have they done? They created nukes. Let's do what Bush did and pay him millions of dollars not to create nukes. Oh, look what they did. They created nukes. Let's do what Clinton did. We've tried diplomacy. Try standing up to the little dictator. Or as I said, my daughter's going over a project. I gotta watch what I say. And she's going over, countries and the different dictators and monarchies and democracies. I was like, did you just say dictator? And my wife just looked at me and goes, shut up. Daughter's looking at me and goes, what's that? Oh, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. So overrated. Yeah, one last thing. It's just, I don't know. But this, wait till you hear this one, all right? Federal court ruling guts police ability to use guns. A federal appeals court ruled Tuesday that Seattle police can only use force proportionately to the threat they face, seriously damaging Seattle's police department's ability to use firearms. The ruling from the Ninth Circuit Courts of Appeal upheld the use of force reforms put in place by federal mandates under Obama administrations that require police to use only objective reasonable force proportionally to the threat or urgency of the situation, the Associated Press reports. The unanimous ruling strikes down a lawsuit filed by a group of more than 120 Seattle police officers in 2014 who claim that the strict reform infringes on an officer's right to self-defense and the Second Amendment. The city of Seattle has a significant interest in regulating the use of department-issued firearms by its police officer, Judge William Haysbrough, adding that the policy did not impose a substantial burden on plaintiffs' right to use a firearm. Seattle's police argued the new policies would cause officers to second-guess themselves before using firearms in life-threatening situations. The Seattle Times reported this hesitation and paralyzes prevented police from exercising their right to self-defense. Police further said that this hesitant or fear of using a firearm would result in a dramatic decrease in proactive police work to investigate and stop crime. This is the disarming of the American Police Department. The lawsuit named former Attorney General Eric Holder, who led the Department of Justice when it mandated Seattle's reform, as a defendant. City Attorney Pete Holmes praised the court's decision to rule against the police, claiming that the policy has already resulted in a 60% drop in use of force incidents this year, according to Seattle Met. On behalf of the city, I welcome this confirmation that constitutional policy and officer safety go hand in hand. I want to see this one go to the Supreme Court. I'm getting fucking tired of Ninth Circuit Court. They are a goddamn joke anymore. They're more worried about feelings than safety. And they're out to disarm the American police. Drives me up a wall. Drives me up a wall, it does. I mean, how can you... That's a slap in the police face. If I was the police department, I would walk off. I'd walk the fuck off and go find another. A district that backs their cops and not tries to deball them. And no surprise, Washington Post gets it wrong on guns, new gun legislators. And law-abiding gun owners are tired of reading articles from elitist writers who want nothing more than to eliminate gun ownership in America. The latest example was Dana Milbank's September 11th piece, The NRA's Idea of Recreation of Assault Rifle, Armor-Piercing Bullets, and Silencers. All the time, they gotta do it. They gotta do it. Milbank's article about a new piece of pro-sportsman legislation, the SHARE Act, is littered with misleading and incorrect terminology to describe even the most basic firearm classification, revealing how little he actually knows about guns. His contempt for hunters, NRA members, and gun owners in general is made clear through his condescending tone and misrepresentation of facts. The piece was published in a number of anti-gun publications, foremost among them the Washington Post. When the NRA complained to the Post about the article, the Post declined to give NRA equal space to rebut Milbank's accusations, and then heavily edited a short 200-word letter to the editor they did not agree to publish. The SHARE Act is an important bill that will both protect and expand the rights of hunters and sportsmen. Millions of Americans enjoy our hunting heritage, and the Washington Post should treat them with respect, not condescension or condemnation. I can't speak tonight. All of a sudden, my tongue's gone. In the future, Mr. Milbank should try to act like a fair journalist, not an elitist advocate for gun control. I mean, there is no more journalists really anymore. There is no journalists. It's hard to find journalists in this country anymore. And most of these papers anymore, it's nothing but editorial pieces. And that's how they try to get around. Well, that's an editorial. That's an opinion piece. That's a... Oh, it drives me up the wall. Good friend of mine, and to change subject real quick, I had to answer that. A good friend of mine, past chief from my fire company, and he has a house down here in Florida, just south of me, and it was in one of the areas that was heavily hit. And we've been talking back and forth on Facebook, and he's up in New Jersey right now, so I wanted to let him know if he needs anything. Let me know, best I can do. And he's several hours south of me, but I would run down if he needed. I mean, he'll always be a chief officer in my eyes. That's the way I was raised in the fire department. Past officers are always officers, whether you're in the department or not. So you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholics, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up in about 14 minutes is the Sackheads Radio Show, hosted by Sackhead Clint, Sackhead Sean, and BZ. I know it will be a good show and all. Just, I'm hoping I can stay up the whole night. Is the main thing. So, let's see where we at. And I'm also responding. Well, the person thinks that Trump's being a man-child by using a rocket man, but like I just asked, what's your solution then? What's your solution? Because, well, if we nuke North Korea, South Korea's gone. We understand that. Most people understand that. But you can't go into a negotiate going, yeah, we're not going to nuke. So you're being threatened with nuke, but we're not going to nuke. We're not going to do that. You don't tell what you're not going to do. And that's what these people don't understand. You don't go in negotiations going, we're not going to nuke, we're not going to do this. You don't tell them that. They can think that all they want, but as long as they don't know it, that's different. So, but I'm asking, what's their solution? If they think they're so smart and knocking the way it's being handled, what is your solution? We can't keep paying these people off. We can't. That is not a solution. Sean, I'm still pissed at you for that. You got that stuck in my head probably for the rest of my life. Oh, and climate realists strike back. No blaming Harvey or Irma on climate change. I believe it was yesterday and early. They're getting tired of it. A sober, fact-based analysis from researchers has debunked hysterical reactions to recent devastating hurricanes that sought to attribute these phenomenons to man-made global warming. Man-made global warming did not cause Harvey and Irma, writes economist and environmental expert Nicholas Loris. As carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases emissions have increased, there have been no trends in global tropical cycle landfall. In fact, prior to Harvey and Irma, the United States was in a 12-year hurricane drought. More importantly, the average number of hurricanes per decade reaching landfall in the U.S. has fallen over the past 160 years. The analysis went on, and unlike much of the media panic surrounding recent storms, is based on mainstream science available to anyone willing to look for it. In its most recent scientific assessment, the IPCC reported that no robust trends in annual reports of tropical storms, hurricanes, major hurricanes have been identified over the past 100 years in the North Atlantic Basin, and that there are no significant observed trends in global tropical cyclone frequency. Now, this is coming from the IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They're saying it. Not deniers, not anybody else, not Trump. This is the global warming cultists. They're saying it. And they know by going out there and running their mouths like, oh my God, because Trump went out of it, global warming's going to kill us all. Global warming's causing these hurricanes. No, you're belittling, and you're making your cause even harder to obtain by making fear-mongering, exaggerated statements like that. And that's the part they can't get through their heads. This is not good for their movement doing this. It hurts them. It makes them look like idiots. Lunatics. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Even the NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, which has promoted the idea of global warming, said that it is premature to conclude that human activity, and particularly greenhouse gas emissions that cause global warming, have already had a detectable impact on Atlantic hurricanes or global tropical cyclone activity. It's also noted that even more moderate claims, such as the idea that global warming didn't cause Harvey or Irma, but supercharged them because of high air moistures, have likewise turned out to be false. University of Washington climatologist Cliff Mass studied precipitation levels in the Gulf and found that there is no evidence that global warming is influencing Texas coastal precipitation in the long term, and little evidence that warmer than normal temperatures had any impact on precipitation intensity from this storm. Now again, this isn't a denier. This is a global warming. Yes. This is one of their own. And they understand this hurts their cause when you make these exaggerated statements like this. Listen, I've said it before. Do I think there's this major environmental impact going on? No. Do I think we've hurt our environment? Yes. Do I think we need to be cautious with our environment? Yes. Do we need to protect our environment? Yes. But I'll go back to what I use a lot. We have stubbed our toe. There's no need to cut our whole fucking leg off. And that's what they want to do. They want to cut the whole leg off because we stubbed our toe. And when you want to talk to me about reasonably about this and what we could do and what should be done, fine. But when these exaggerated statements get made, New York will be underwater, 10 feet of water, by the summer of 2014 it was, 2015. All the Arctic ice will be melted. Dun, dun, dun. You know, when you make exaggerated statements like that, that's when I... It doesn't help, and that's what pushes us a lot of way. A lot of us that deny the whole global warming doesn't mean we don't believe in protecting. It's sort of like the we're against illegal immigration doesn't mean we're against immigration altogether. We have no problem with immigration. And that's the problem. That's what tells me their side is full of shit when they have to go to those exaggerations. And that's why I won't ever back. I want these oil rigs out there. I want them to be watched. I want to make sure they're safe. I want to make sure they're doing it properly. I don't want over-regulation. But let's see. What was that? I can't remember the oil rig in the Gulf a couple of years ago. And what was the problem? The government regulators weren't actually watching what's going on. The company that was dealing with it was cutting corners, cutting cost, and that's what caused that. Now, if we would have had our regulators out there double checking and making sure everything's being done properly, and we had a corporation that was being responsible, that disaster probably never happens. And that's where we have to have a well balance between both. And when it comes to our government right now, we don't have a well balance. It's massive one way or another. We got to come to that well balance in the middle. And it's actually not that hard to get to. If our politicians would stop worrying about elections and worry about doing their job, things would be doing a lot better. As I said, if you do your job as a politician correctly, you don't have to worry about being reelected. Because you've done your job properly, it will stand for your record and it will get you reelected. It's when you do this other bullshit that will hurt you. Too many of our politicians are too worried about getting sound bites that they can use for a reelection than actually doing their job. That's where we need to step up, people. That's where we need to look into. And when we get that fixed, all the other problems will line up and solve themselves. If we get politicians that do their job properly. And that goes for Republican or Democrat, because both of them are guilty in the problems that have been happening in this country for a very long time. It's not all one party's fault. Both parties have acted irresponsibly. And with that, that's all for my show. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Coming up next is, well, Sackhead's radio show hosted by Sackhead Clint, Sackhead Sean, and BZ. And with that, everybody have a great night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com.